What's going on, guys? You know who it is. Ali here, back with another video. In today's video, I want to talk about mental toughness. What is mental toughness? Why get mental toughness? And how do you become mentally tough? Right? This is something that I preach a lot about on this channel. Mental toughness is very, very important. So, what is mental toughness? Mental toughness is basically not getting too high and not getting too low, right? You just want to stay on your path and not deviate too much, right? If you get too high, on a success, then you just relax. And if you get too low on a defeat or a failure, temporary defeat, I'll explain that in a second, and then you just give up. You're like, what's the point? Both are bad, right? So you don't want to get too high, because if you sleep on a win, you'll wake up with a loss, right? And if you get too low, then you give up, and both are a recipe for disaster. So now that I explained that, it's important. Mental toughness is very important in success, because people will always try to influence you and try to give their opinion on things and all that stuff. And if you're easily influenced, you're not gonna make it. I'm sorry. Like, you need to develop that mental toughness in order not to be easily influenced by others around you. When I started this channel, everybody had an opinion. Oh, you should do this, you should do that, you should do this, you should do that. But the fact of the matter is, they don't have a YouTube channel, and they're not going through the experiences that I'm going through, right? So I had to develop a certain mental toughness to go on this journey, right? Now, what are the things that you can do to become mentally tough? One, I would say, is reframe everything, right, as a lesson to know how the world works around you, right? So that goes back, that goes into the temporary defeat and failure. Big difference between successful people and not successful people and unsuccessful people. I saw this in an Instagram post the other day, is that unsuccessful people, they have failures like weighing them down, right? It's just like bricks on, they feel like a victim. They're like, like, why me? Whereas successful people, they take those bricks of failure and they use them as stepping stones, right, to go as stairs. And I love that meme, because it's really the only difference, right? They keep taking action despite of the failure, despite of what looks like failure. It's just temporary defeat, right? The only failure is quitting. So recognize that. Third thing I would say is the second thing I would say is combat sports, right? I'm a boxer and I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and those two things have empowered me to be a stronger man, and to be a stronger man emotionally, right? To have more control over my emotions and not to be easily influenced by the outside world, because nothing messes up with your emotions like getting your ass handed to you in a sparring session, or rolling session in jiu-jitsu. So when you are used to it at that big of a scale, and on a smaller scale, it doesn't affect you as much. So that's, and it's especially important nowadays, because people are so easily offended, and I feel a good way to combat that easily offended thing is to pick up combat sports. That's number two. Number three is meditation, right? I'm huge on meditation, because meditation always puts me in a place where it's like, okay, I know what my intuition is telling me. I know what my heart is telling me. And those were things that I thought were bizarre at one point in time, or I just thought that I didn't know what they meant, right? I've always heard, you know, people that I've listened to just say, oh, listen to your heart, listen to your intuition. When you're like, 18 years old, you're like, what the hell does that mean? I don't even know what that means. Well, if you meditate, you get into that place, right? Because you're quieting the monkey brain down, and you go into a place where it's like, okay, no, now I know what my intuition is telling me. Now I know what my heart is telling me, and you'll see the further steps, right? So anyways, these are the 3 tips that I'm giving you for mental toughness. Reframe everything as a lesson. Everything that you're going through, recognize the difference between, there's a difference between failure and temporary defeat. That's only temporary defeat. Second, pick up combat sports. And third is meditation. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If so, please give it a thumbs up, comment, let me know what you're thinking, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.